There is hardly any state in Nigeria which has not witnessed the horrors inflicted by these Fulani Herdsmen armed with AK-47 and other sophisticated weapons.
If you don't know that there is war, please know that there is. Because by the time they finish with the Benue people, the next place is the southeast. The Igbo people, everywhere they speak Igbo, the Igbo nation should defend themselves. That's what the bill is saying. We are first of all trying to use legislation to defend our people. And when it goes beyond that, we are not kids, we know what to do. Gentlemen of the press, it is humility mingled with profound joy that we are here to address you people on this auspicious day for something that is very important in order to stem the tide of the challenging times in Nigeria.
I will go straight to the point, because the events that are unfolding in Nigeria today are not hidden to anybody. All of us are aware, one way or the other, there is no state in the southern part of this country that has not had a share of what the Fulani Herdsmen have been doing. But before I read clearly or expressly from the press statement, I'd like to draw the attention of the House to the fact that sometime last year, the House of Reps had a public hearing on a grazing bill at the national level. Thereafter, the Senate also had their own public hearing. And when ADF at the national level heard of it, we went there boldly and presented a paper, a memorandum, and we were very explicit and very bold in our presentation. We said, no, there is no way the country can enact a law to give legality and legitimacy to what is illegal. We made our position very clear, and to the glory of God, that bill appeared to have died at that level. But unfortunately, the way things are in this country, the executive now decided to go about smuggling those activities from the back door through executive action and executive orders. And we started hearing about grazing bills, grazing routes, grazing that, and all that. We've also seen what Benue State have done, what Ekiti State have done, what Taraba State have done, and the reaction of those who are concerned against what those states have done. And we are aware that the states in the southeast have also been victims of the activities of cattle herdsmen. And ADF feels that it is extremely important, as a matter of fact, urgent, that the states' houses of assembly in the southeast, not just the southeast, but in every place where Igbo language is spoken in this country, should come together and enact laws that will checkmate the activities of these cattle herdsmen. So, ladies and gentlemen, by way of introduction, we say that various communities in the Federal Republic of Nigeria are currently overwhelmed by widespread invasion by heavily armed Fulani herdsmen who have engaged in systematic and reckless grazing of cattle on cultivated agricultural lands, destruction of crops, attacks, abduction, and killings of farmers, rape of their women and daughters, and in many cases involving complete sack and displacement of entire communities. Let me point out here, as a way of a background, that many of us here are Igbos. We know that in ancient Igbo time till now, traditionally and culturally speaking, it is a taboo, in fact in those days punishable by banishment, for you as a cattle owner, whether it be a cow or goat or sheep or whatever, to leave it from where you're supposed to have tethered it and allow it to go and graze another person's land. It is a cultural offense. So we need to understand the background from where the Igbos are coming in making the position that they're making. And that was precisely what we presented to the National Assembly at the open hearing, at the public hearing on a grazing bill. Now, the Fulani Herdsmen are presently classified as the fourth most deadly terrorist organization in the world after ISIS, Al-Shabaab, and Boko Haram. Incidentally, both Boko Haram and Fulani Herdsmen operate in Nigeria. Boko Haram itself began as a political instrument of some northern politicians until ISIS became its major patron. But it appears that Boko Haram is now being integrated with the Fulani Herdsmen. In recent times, the movement of these terrorist groups into the southern parts of Nigeria increases daily, just as sophisticated military equipment are being shipped to the south with increased terrorist attacks in several parts of the south. It has been firmly established that what is afoot is a jihad being waged by the Fulani Muslims in the guise of herdsmen. The heavily armed Fulani herdsmen include both Fulani citizens of Nigeria and other Fulani from other West African countries, such as Niger, Cote d'Ivoire, and Cameroon. There is hardly any state in Nigeria which has not witnessed the horrors inflicted by these Fulani herdsmen armed with AK-47 and other sophisticated weapons. Indeed, the grazing bills which surfaced in the National Assembly since the last 2 years appear to be an attempt to provide legal backing to the entire operation of Muslim takeover of Nigeria. In the process, Alaigbo appeared to be one big obstacle that must be crushed. Thus, our people have experienced a lot of horrors, murder, rape, kidnappings, abduction, and destruction of farmlands. ADF has been very active in the campaign against grazing bills in the two arms of the National Assembly, which seek to establish grazing routes, grazing reserves, ranches, and more recently, grazing colonies. ADF position was made clear at two public hearings of the National Assembly, namely at both the Senate and the House of Representatives. ADF position was later published as advertorial in national dailies. Copies attached are made available to the press. This has gone very far in inspiring federal legislators from Alaigbo to join in the opposition. It is obvious, ladies and gentlemen, that the struggle should go beyond the National Assembly to include states' houses of assembly. Two states in Nigeria, like we said earlier, namely Ekiti and Benue states, have passed anti-open grazing bills, which they have stoutly been defending against bloody Fulani attacks. At an emergency meeting of Alaigbo Development Foundation held on the 20th day of January 2018, at the head office of the foundation under the distinguished chairmanship of the ADF National President, Professor Timothy Zodimangwala, the ADF charged its legal bureau with the responsibility of studying the recently passed open grazing prohibition laws of Benue and Ekiti states and come up with a draft bill to the same effect and make recommendations to the ADF on strategies to encourage and support the state's House of Assembly within Alaigbo to ensure the passage of the bill into law by each House of Assembly of the 7 Igbo-speaking states of Nigeria within the shortest possible time. Essentially, what the bill is all about is to seek to control the grazing by cattle. We are saying that the practice of moving cattle openly in the streets and in various communities, and whereby cattle go into people's farms and destroy and damage them, is not only improper, not only outmoded, but in fact should not be a practice in modern world. So the bill seeks to encourage and to urge our assemblymen to pass law to prohibit open grazing and restrict cattle rearing to ranches. We are looking at what is in the best interest of our people. We have studied the situation. Not too long ago, a community was sacked Nimbo in Nsukka, and there are many other communities that have been adversely affected. So we cannot cross our legs and continue to cry and continue to complain and continue to wail while this wanton destruction continues to go on. We cannot continue to wait for Haneze, and the entirety of the interest of Alaigbo is not exclusively rested on Haneze. Haneze cannot do it alone. Haneze cannot do everything. There are other bodies in other parts of the country, and there are many associations taking issues as they arise. They don't leave the responsibility of everything under one particular body. And they may not be able to do everything alone. So if ADF has identified this point of need and is taking upon it, what I expect Ohaneze to do is to actively encourage and support ADF. And where they fail to do that, I repeat, where they fail to do that, then let it become clear to all of us where they stand. Posterity shall judge all of us. Thank you very much. I think my brother wants to add something to it.
Well, I think the question of Ohaneze, we will add something so that it becomes clear that we are not contesting the position of Ohaneze. Because if we do not address this clearly, I know that some people may think that this is the issue. We are not contesting with them. But if you take Lagos West, that's Southwest, for instance, you will see that they have Afenifere, they have Odua People's Congress, they have the Council of Elders, they have the Renewal Movement, and these people do things in synergy. This address, this thinking that Igbo should all subsume themselves under Ohaneze is evil. If we do not, there must be some activist group in Alaigbo so that we will be able to do the things we are doing. It is only in Alaigbo that when somebody is doing something that is very serious, people will now go and say you are not under Ohaneze, and then from there people will be talking, ridiculing ourselves. There is no time again for us. If you don't know that there is war, please know that there is. Because by the time they finish with the Benue people, the next place is the southeast. And the first place in the southeast is Enugu and perhaps Ebonyi. The other day, you people reported to us that they killed some people in there and left the knife on that person's head. What a gruesome way of killing. And people said we should be fearing. What kind of fear? Are we alive? We're already dead if we be afraid of such people. And I tell you, we must be very, very serious, because if we are not, if we take these things lying low, we will stay in Enugu here, people will overrun us. Let's get prepared. Some days ago, T.Y. Danjuma made this thing on Saturday. And Danjuma was one of them, I will say, but he has seen the truth. And we are saying we should be afraid to voice out, even only voicing out, to take legislation, even if it is only legislation, and we are saying we should leave them. Please, we will not leave anybody to come and take over our land. I have no other place to go. I'm from Igbo land, and I will stay here and ensure that no mad cattle herdsman comes to this place to take over the place. I will fight with the last drop of my blood. And whether anybody likes it or not, this bill, we need to create our own level of security. The vigilante, the law supports that. In Benue now, you are already aware that the vigilante service in Benue is very strong, and they have started countering the Fulani Herdsmen. And so it is very clear that we cannot just make this type of bill, especially when the IGP, that's the Inspector General of Police, has told the world that if you are making this type of bill, you should be ready for the attack. So if you have said that, we won't be stupid to make a bill that will not take care of such a thing. And as a titled person, I don't need to talk putting my tongue inside my cheek. I don't do like that. A man will only die for one day, and I can assure you I will not even die when I'm fighting for justice. Because they are not the creators of human beings, and they are not the owners. What we are even saying in this bill is that the Igbo people, everywhere they speak Igbo, the Igbo nation, should defend themselves. That's what the bill is saying. We are first of all trying to use legislation to defend our people. And when it goes beyond that, we are not kids, we know what to do.
Are you hearing me, youth? Yes. It's because of you I'm still struggling. Because I've got children and grandchildren. and maybe soon great-grandchildren. Before I make my comments, I want to draw your attention that the chairman of ADF addressed only gentlemen of the press. But I see some ladies here.
No, ma, we are all men.
You are all men.
Thank you.
Okay, so you are like lawyers then.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Having said that, somebody said, Ohaneze is the umbrella body. When your umbrella tears, what do? You buy another one. I'm a member of Ohaneze in Modu. I've been in that association for over 30 or 40 years. During the time of Dr. So I've seen that.
One house.
People have disappointed us. We have to seek alternative. That is why this ADF. I'm not afraid of death because I'm going to be 83 years in October this year. 83. So it is you people. There should be a mechanism for recalling people who are not representing us well. We can't continue to clap and dance when they are not doing the right thing. It is time you youths wake up from your slumber.
Yes,
you have no future in this country at this rate. If you don't stand up for yourselves, you will be there in your house. They will come, take your wife, take your children, your babies, rape them, and you know. My dear, I was born and bred in the north. I never lived in this place until I got married. Some people don't know I'm not a northerner, some of them. But we have lost our image, our psyche. And we must get it back, this generation. By the grace of God, we will answer our name. Igbo, you know. I am appealing to you boys and girls. Fight for your future. Fight for your future, otherwise, Alaigbo.
Thank you.
I'm speaking in Nsukka now.
Gentlemen of the press, this is a copy of the bill, and I formally present a copy to you, sir. Thank you very much.